Here are the Approaches to Learning educational claims that have been published in the North Carolina K-3 Assessment for Learning and Development Think Tank Report. These claims define what can be observed as students positively approach new learning experiences. Take a moment to review these claims. Envision an effective early learning classroom. Let's examine claim number 2 by thinking about how we might actually see this occur in an early grades environment. Claim 2 states, students can maintain focus and persevere to accomplish collaborative and individual tasks, whether those tasks are chosen by them or assigned to them. Research related to the Approaches to Learning domain supports the idea that young children develop an ability to sustain engagement in tasks by building upon their individual interest and curiosity. An example of how this may occur in an early grades classroom may very well be evident on any given day as children are exploring grade-appropriate content. It could be that maybe after a series of teacher-directed lessons on a particular topic, children are provided opportunities to make choices and work in various learning stations around the classroom. Let's consider a child who may have an interest in writing or playing soccer. During this opportunity to choose a learning station, this particular child may self-select the writing station as an opportunity to create a book about soccer. A teacher may use this time as an opportunity to gather information about a child. Imagine that as a child is working, the teacher has the opportunity to notice that the child works to create his book using the materials from the station, and while this is happening, another child tries to engage in a conversation with him by sharing his Lego structure and a piece of his writing that was created in a different learning station. The child who is working on the book about soccer stops to compliment his peer and quickly returns to his plan. He continues to work on his book. Based on this particular situation, it would be evident that this student has developed the ability to maintain focus and persevere in a self-selected task, and even when an interruption occurs, he is able to return to that task and resume the process. His teacher could use this information to guide further instruction. She could also make efforts to connect his interest to new learning experiences, and the intent would be to increase his ability to stay focused and be attentive. Okay, let's move to the next area so that you can see the alignment and the connection to the Common Core State Standards and North Carolina Essential Standards. It is no secret that every child is different. Therefore, we have to remember that every child learns differently. As teachers design lessons, that will help children meet the expectations of the North Carolina Standard Course of Study, it is important to consider strategies that are intended to sustain children's engagement. Oftentimes, when teachers provide self-selected choices, the goal is to increase engagement by allowing those individual interests to influence the learning. What a fantastic way to learn about these individual interests of children and utilize that knowledge to increase engagement during teacher-directed activities in the classroom as well. This balance over time will allow for children to develop the necessary skills and the confidence to approach learning in their own way. The Common Core State Standards and the North Carolina Essential Standards address the approaches to learning domain, and this information can be found in various sections of the content-specific documents. The North Carolina Science Essential Standards documents state the following: if interests arise as a result of the use of scientific inquiry method, students would perform tasks in a manner that allow for exploration, question posing, and answer seeking as they arise. Common Core Mathematics Standards documents address how children approach learning by defining 8 standards for mathematical practice. These 8 standards for mathematical practice are defined as observable behaviors that students can exhibit when problem solving, and this problem solving allows for critical thinking and perseverance. In the English Language Arts Standards documents, support for increased engagement is explained through a reference referred to as capacities of the literate individual. In this reference, it is stated that students are to engage and be open-minded but discerning readers and listeners. So what does this mean for this vision for the K-3 formative assessment process?